obviously left us in some major places last year with the mansion and then Clark is. So what was your kind of idea of all of that chaos setting up for this year?
Well, first of all, yes, it was all setting up for this year. I like to sort of, plant the seeds for the next season. And we got so lucky last year in that we got picked up in January, and we weren't even really done making the show yet. And so, on the one hand, it was just incredible to be able to say goodbye to everybody during the finale and be like, see you next season. That's a luxury. And it was a luxury storytelling-wise, because I knew we were going to continue the adventure. And so I had some real serious time to contemplate what I wanted to do. And for me, to keep myself interested, I always like to make it different. Like season 1 and season 2 are night and day.
Absolutely.
The same people, but it's like the sequel, And the season 3 is going to be, I would say, even more different than those first 2 seasons. So we really cleaned the slate at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Does that answer?
Yeah, you're moving really sci-fi too.
Very sci-fi. I'm a huge sci-fi nerd, and I feel like we've always been pretty sci-fi. I mean, we were the only broadcast show on television, I think, at the time that we premiered that had a space component to it. Mm-hmm. We lost that, obviously, last season, and at least after episode 2 when Jaha came down, and I miss it a little bit, and I do miss hardcore sci-fi ideas, and so that's one of the things that this AI story is going to let us do.
What are some of your big sci-fi influences?
I mean, I'm a Star Wars nerd. I wish I was going to the what is it, Hall H thing. I'm incredibly jealous of people that are going to get to do that. But I love Star Trek and Star Wars. Probably Star Wars over Star Trek. 2001, speaking of AI, I love the first 2/3 of that movie. I don't know about the last third, but don't beat me up, sci-fi fans. I mean, what the hell was happening in that mansion? I still don't know. But, we really kind of borrowed some imagery from it.
You were saying that this season 3, is going to be really different from seasons 1 and 2. Is it the tone? Is it the world they exist in? What really separates it from the past 2?
It's the story. We're telling a different story. The Mount Weather story was season 2. This season we're going to be telling this AI story in a really big way. We're going to go back and we'll understand a lot about how we got here, what the origins of the apocalypse were, and to me that's incredibly cool and different. And we're going to build out the ground of culture even further, which is exciting to me too. The sets that we're building this season for a network, for a CW show, certainly are just mind-blowingly big. And what our people in Vancouver are able to do with the money that we're given, which isn't like feature film money, obviously, is crazy. We haven't shot on these sets yet. I've just seen them being built because we haven't started shooting, but I think people will be like, holy shit. I know I am. So I walk onto sets and things, it hasn't gotten old, I wrote this and and they built it. I'm like, oh my god, it's a spaceship. I wrote that and now I'm in the spaceship. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
What is your sort of philosophy for writing a TV show? Because one thing about your show is that there's usually not much fat, and everything, you throw everything in, it seems, and you don't stretch out a plot point too long.
We burn through story pretty fast, for sure. My philosophy is never be boring, for sure. Never sort of wait to tell a good story if you've got a good story to tell, and because you're afraid that something better won't come up in the next episode. I like to. I feel like we haven't had a bad episode, so part of that is I like a short order. I don't know how shows do 22 episodes. I would literally put a gun to my mouth if I had to do 9 more at the end of the season. It's like, on the one hand, it's great. You get more money, obviously. You get paid by the episode. But, I feel like it waters it down. So the shows that I like are all sort of cable, short order, intense storytelling. And that's what we try to do.
With Clark, obviously she's kind of isolated when the season starts.
Yeah.
What's her journey this year? I mean, she's been a leader. Now she's kind of left people behind, which is very unexpected for her.
Yeah.
What were you trying to tell in her story this year?
The theme for the season.
Yeah. She came behind me.
She can answer the question.
She can.
She probably can, actually.
I'm going to pop you over to these last.
All right, let me answer this last question.
Absolutely.
So the theme for the season is what it means to be human, and that obviously will apply, I think, in the most obvious way anyway, to the AI story. because she needs to understand what it means to be human, I guess, on some level. But it applies to all of the characters in the show because they've sort of been forced to like let go of their humanity. They've done some inhuman things. Eliza Clark, in particular, as you say rightly, is broken because of what she's done and has shut herself down emotionally and is not a human being in many ways right now. And so her arc this season is: will she be able to come back to life and define that question? It will answer that question of what it means to be human.
Anybody that helps her more than it helps her?
Not really. I think that it's she needs. There will be a point in the season you can, I think, anticipate where she'll be activated again. Like the crisis of that's befalling her people or herself will force her to say, I can't hide. But it's not driven by one person more than the other. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.